name is Atenas Mena, and I'm with Clean Air Now, and I'll be up next on the Evening Social Podcast.
Tonight's episode is brought to you in part by Klub TV and Wilson's Pizza and Grill.
This from my pops, California coastlines, living out my real mind. Now it's really showtime, now it's how I draw a line. From the fake to real, that's how it feels when you multi. But let's not forget all of the giants I wanna stunt down. Scared that their positions can't be taken with a new sound.
What's happening, good people? As always, we have a great show in store for you tonight. This one's got a little twist and turn, so, I know you see someone extra on the couch. We're going to get to that today. She normally don't come out. So I'm excited that she's here. You see what's going on. But I am, first things first, don't forget the coach, then comes Mo.
And I'm Jabrelle, Jenee.
And this is the Evening Social Podcast. Tonight we have a special guest with us. If you ever wondered about the air pollution and clean air and who fights for us, especially for those in the low income houses, those who are underprivileged, those where the air pollution affects their health wise, have you ever thought about who fights for them? Stay tuned tonight, you'll understand that. All right, and you'll understand what environmental justice means. It took me a minute to get that, but I got it now. So you'll understand what that is. So tonight's guest is not only fights for our rights with air pollution, but is also what we call an actionist. Not an activist. An activist just talks. An actionist actually has action and does things and is actually in the fight and pushes. So our guest tonight is an actionist. Our guest tonight is an epitome of one of the things that we at Jegna Klub push, and it's pushing that all of our young ones, but especially our women, can be who and what they want to be, and they can be leaders. They can be what they want to be, and they have a voice. So tonight we have with us, and I hope I'm gonna say this correctly, we have Atenas Mena.
Wow, really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That doesn't usually happen, so that's why.
All right. Well, I've been practicing with my guy Matt. Matt
it.
Climbing. He's been working with me. Okay.
Yeah, you did.
All right.
I know.
I was working so hard on that. I was going to try to say a Spanish greeting, but I couldn't get to it.
Oh.
So other than hola and then I couldn't say nothing else. So I'm gonna just stick with saying the name correctly. Okay.
Yeah, you win. That works.
Okay.
That works. Yeah,
All
we already got a point.
Okay. All right. Good. Here we go. So I cannot forget our DJ as we bringing out what's going on. Our DJ Ben Rich. I'm gonna say it again. I say it all the time. Our DJ is better than yours. I say that all the time. My man can DJ any genre. I don't care what it is.
No, it's true.
If you call the genre or whatever, he can handle it. If he can't, I'll pay for it.
Y'all see his shirt he got on today? That's what he made a dope mix.
Yeah,
Rocky Mountain. Just random.
That's my guy.
I love it.
Listen, and I'm gonna just tell you this: how cold he is. He on the Evening Social Podcast, and he the only one got his own camera. You know what I'm saying? He got his own camera. I couldn't even get that. I asked for it weeks. And you know what they told me? Don't nobody want to see you like that. But it's okay.
Oh, no.
It's okay.
Gotta give the people what they want.
That's what they told me. But it's okay. I'm with that. All right. Now, tonight we got something special. That's why, as we get to a little bit with our sponsors before we get into our interview, I want to take an opportunity early to pay tribute to our partnerships that we have.
Yeah.
And first, our episode is brought to you in part by Wilson's Pizza and Grill. It's also brought to you in part by Henderson Entertainment and taking KC artists to the worldwide platform.
Can I say, since we mentioned in Tone, that they got their toy drive on the 16th? Yeah.
She always trying to jump in like I
Listen,
was
because I don't want to
forget
forget. I want to
some
make
stuff.
sure
She
that
gonna jump in
y'all.
like I was going to forget some
Listen,
stuff.
make sure.
Can I mention for you?
I don't want
you
to
something
forget.
else. Boy.
Make sure that y'all bring y'all
Okay,
toys
I'm
out
going
to
to
the
just do
toy
what I'm
drive on the
supposed to do. Sit
16th.
over here in the corner. And let you do your thing. Yeah.
You got to give them the address. Where is it?
No, I don't know.
Give it to them where it's supposed to be. You know
I
what?
don't
You
know.
can
You
always
do
go
it.
to Tone Henderson page on Facebook or Tone Henderson Entertainment on IG. But y'all, get y'all toys together, man, and drop them off for the toy drive on the 16th. Go to his page for details.
Whenever you're done, let me know when I
I'm
can talk.
done.
Let me know when I can talk. Lounge 42.
Ah, okay. It is.
I'm just saying, bring him to Lounge 42.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna just say this too, since you finna, can I talk now?
Go ahead, man. Give it to them what
Okay,
they need.
I gotta get permission. This Friday, come on out. Enjoy a few things with us. At Lounge 42, culmination of bringing you toys and stuff. And, have a good time out there.
Yeah.
We'll be there about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Come on out. And
Nice.
enjoy. It's going to be really nice. We some artists coming in. Going to do some things. We're going to be in the house. Even Social Podcast will be there doing a few interviews and stuff. Yeah, So come on out, party with us at Henderson Entertainment, and enjoy yourself.
You can drop off toys now, too. And that's it for that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be there. There you
Okay, so here we go. Now, also, since we got Henderson Entertainment and Wilson's Pizza, our episode is also brought to you in part by New Wall Street. It's an investment education community. All right. Now, we're getting to our brand partnerships, and we got a special night. Now, I'm going to say tonight I'm representing, I always roll with the truth. TruthTheReason.com. I always roll with them. But I'm repping my Chiefs because it's another 10-win season. And as my brother, they head down to Red Houston. They head down there this weekend. They turn up. I want to show my appreciation for our Chiefs going down there. So that's this. But our other brand partnership with the lovely Brainiac 91. Now, you see the owner of Brainiac 91, who's a huge supporter of us, who has a wonderful story. If you haven't heard the story, then you need to get up on it. All right, but she's here on the couch today, and she's here because we unveiling something today. All right, Monty gonna bring it on out what we unveiling today. Come on, bring it. Just bring it on out. See, his name is named after him.
What's up, Monty?
Yeah. Gonna bring it on out. It's named after him. Come on, let's bust it down. Let's get to it. This is unveiling some new open. Listen, hey, we don't need nothing to open the box. Where we come from, you bust it down.
Hey, show him what's up then.
You gonna bust it down? Bust it down. I mean, it can't bear your name. Bust it down. Get to it. Huh? If I use my keys, I'm opening.
Hey, look what he doing. He's busting it down.
I know he can bust it
breaking
down.
into it.
He know what to do. He don't need this. He know what to do. Look at him.
No, he don't. Yeah, let's give
Man,
him
God.
Several layers.
Let me give you a touch of help, and then we get to it. Let me give you a little help. I'm gonna bust you down. Then I'm gonna give it back to you. Let me see.
I also have nails, so.
Here, let me just-
Nope. I don't want you touching
Oh
nothing.
my God.
I want you touching nothing.
You always want to be a
I
part
don't
of
want you
something.
touching nothing. I want to be a part of something. You always want to be a part of something. I just want to say this. This is a Brainiac thing that don't have nothing to do
That's
with
what happens when you
Jabrelle.
cut your nails.
This don't have nothing to do with Jabrelle right here. This right here, really truthfully, I don't want to say this in front of Monty. You know what I'm saying? But it's the nickname.
Look at me.
The nickname is Coach Mo. The real name is Monty. That's the name. When you go order, it's Monty. But on the street, it's called the Coach Mo.
I love how you know what?
You know what I'm saying? On the street, it's called the Coach Mo. They got the Air Jordans, but on the street they call them, the mics, the mics or something, and stuff like that. Here you go, Monty. Yeah, you can get that part, Jabrelle.
Oh, you almost made me
You get that part, Jabrelle. You know what I'm saying? You get that part, Jabrelle. Yeah. Handle that for us. Handle that for us.
Come on, let's rip it.
Let them see what we got. Let them see what we got out here. Come on, T-Money, get this on film. We need this double recorded, man. Get this on
Look
film.
at the box.
Yeah. You gotta show them the box too, man. You see how I say the Monty on the corner? You gotta show them. You gotta show them the box out. Let them show the box out, man.
Now on the side.
There you go.
Yeah.
See that Monty right there on the side?
Money.
Yeah. Now flip them up. Let them see that Brainiac on the front. Right there on the top. Yeah. Let them see that. Hold them out. Let them see that. Point that down. Yeah.
Come on with it.
Now, Monty, let them see what they look like on the inside. Now, I'm telling the street,
Be ready for it.
just to Coach Mo.
We can't wear them on the same day.
You got to get yours, buddy. Yeah. Come on, Monty. Let me see one of them points. Let me see one of them points, baby. Big. These the Monties, man. On the street, they call them the Coach Mo's. You know what I'm saying?
You like
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. You see what I'm saying? This is new Brainiac. This is that new shoe line. It's the red color. She had the canaries. Now she got the Monty. You know what I'm saying?
She got on the canaries. That's
she got
the one she got on.
Got that. Now, you need to go to Brainiac 91 and order your pair. You can get these. You can get these. No, they don't come out the plastic. They don't come out the plastic till they hit the feet. They don't come out the plastic till they hit the feet. Ben know that. Ben know that. They don't come out the plastic till hit the feet. You know what I'm saying? Hey, can you get this? Hey, T-Money. Get this picture with me and Jabrelle. She made it, G. Okay. You gotta get this with me and Jabrelle. Hey, Jabrelle, though, look, check. You see the. Do you see what? Okay. Money, come back up.
They smooth though.
Yeah.
Not like those. We're fresh.
Yeah. Brainiac 91. You can go order your pair. They online right now, hot, fresh.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You seen them. You seen them
them
here on the Evening Social Podcast. Brainiac 91.
Just in time for Christmas, okay? Yeah.
They ready. Yeah. Okay. All right. We had to let that go because, you know, that's a new thing. Please go check Brainiac 91. Tell them exactly where they go. Because I'm just saying Brainiac 91.
Oh, it's brainiac91.com.
.com. Okay. There we go. Brainiac91.com. You know what I'm saying? Or on social media. It's Brainiac91 LLC.
Yes.
Hit them up. Tell her she got you.
Yeah, give me the size. I'll get them.
There you go. Okay? Hey, go cop them. I want to see them in the hood. All
I
right?
wouldn't let nobody order them. Coach Mo and tell Coach Mo got his.
Well,
That's
thank
the
you.
backstory too.
I appreciate you.
Oh, no, how long it take to get rid of 13?
Well, I'm going to just say this. You ain't going to worry about how long it took once you get them and put them on your feet.
We over 13, you don't know.
You ain't going to worry. But she got that. She can handle all them sizes. This ain't no run. This is a real, they got that. Custom, all that. You tell me. And this is what they say. Comfort with a little bit of style. Get into it.
Get into
You know what
it.
I'm saying? Get into it, Jay. Get into it. Okay. All right. Thank y'all very much. We appreciate y'all for coming with us and unveiling this new Monty out. You know what I'm saying? Monty, tell them they need to go get that. It's the hottest thing out, man. Let them know that. Tell them.
They don't want to you got.
It's the hottest thing out.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all heard him. It's the hottest thing out.
Yes.
All right.
Nice. Thank y'all.
All right. Thank y'all very much. We appreciate y'all coming. Hey, give us a real quick break, real quick. DJ Ben gonna take us to a break. We coming right back. You know what I'm saying? With Atenas Mena.
Tonight's episode was brought to you in part by Wilson's Pizza and Grill and Jenee Klub TV. Our Facebook Live broadcast was brought to you in part by New Wall Street. Our musical guests are brought to you in part by Henderson Entertainment. Our live audience giveaways are brought to you in part by The Royals. Our venue partner is the Elegant 1739 Gallery. Our clothing partners are Truth, The Reason, and Brainiac 91. Our beverage partners are Drip Ultra Pure Water and Sweeties Teas.
All right, we are back with the Evening Social Podcast. And tonight, let's get into a couple things. Normally, we do some other stuff, but I just want to just bring this point up because I think it's very important for what we're about to get into. The word Jegna is an Ethiopian Aramaic word. And one of the definitions is that not being afraid to speak truth to power. The other definition is a culture keeper, one who keeps the culture of the community, one who is ingrained in the community so much that they give their life to protect it. And I think that was like really, really epitomizes what you all do at Clean Air. And so I just wanted to make sure that we made the correlation why I'm so excited to have you guys here tonight. I look at it, you being here is you being on the couch, but Clean Air now is here. So we like that. So before we dive into the thick of things, we want to get into one of our favorite segments, and it's called Fun Questions Icebreakers. All right. Nope. You know what? Nope. She thought I was gonna let her off the hook. No, we're not. I'm gonna back up for a second before we get into that, and I'm gonna say, if we were to ask you what your profession is, what would you say?
I would still stick to nursing.
Okay.
I actually have a background in nursing. So I went to KU, then I transferred over to Avila to graduate from nursing school, and then I went back to get more schooling. School is constant, right, for all of us to continue learning. Mm-hmm. But I think the work that I do is ingrained in the practices that I learned from nursing, is that making sure that everyone has a quality of life, that we want to make sure that we protect the health of ourselves and our community. So through my action, I always incorporate the nursing lens to it too.
Okay, I like that. You know, I was going to get to Children's Mercy Hospital. I was getting to that. Yeah. I was going to ask about that. Okay, so we're going to come back to that.
Gonna go back.
Yeah, we're going to get to that part too. Okay, your question. Her husband's sitting out there, so you don't have to be afraid to ask
well, then
that
now
question.
I don't even have to ask.
I mean, you always, this is, if you've ever seen the show, she don't ever want to ask the question to the guest, are you married? I don't know why she don't want to ask that. That's not a bad
and then
question.
I forgot to put on my ring, so I'm sorry.
Well,
you see that?
That's up to your husband. I know that's between them. That ain't got
I don't
no
want to
good.
get involved.
But he's here, so you know.
He's here.
Right,
Yes.
right. She came with him. Yeah.
So she's married.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you
Married.
for sharing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Married, no
That's
kids.
what you need to know.
And she said no kids, married, no
yet.
kids.
No.
So she asked both questions that you don't be wanting to ask. Oh, I don't understand this. We supposed to be a media and she don't want to
Because
ask
now
questions.
I got more questions.
Oh, now you got more questions. Wow. Okay. Well, go ahead. Ask your question.
I'm just going to ask, how long have you been married?
Forever. Oh my gosh, we got married in 2014. So, and this weekend we'll actually be celebrating our 8-year anniversary of being married. And then we got married as babies. Someone should have stopped us. And we've been together for like 11 years. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's good. Congratulations. I love that. I think that's a great thing. You know, that's to be applauded. You know what I mean? That is great. You know, I love to see love. You know, I do. I think it's great. I think it's what's needed.
Yeah.
I think it's missing from our community, and that's what has the downfall of a lot of our things is that union of love. Yeah. So I think it's great. You know, I applaud you all. So continue to keep going, and happy anniversary to both.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
All right.
That's all.
Okay. So now you boy, she's something else. You want to say happy anniversary? That's what I was gonna say. Well, you something else. You don't even didn't even want to ask about the marriage. You didn't even want to ask about the marriage. Now you want a happy anniversary. Boy, you something else. Okay, let's get to these fun questions. Let's get to this segment. Fun questions icebreaker is brought to you by Drip Ultra Pure Water. You know.
Drip, drip.
Now she don't even want to say her monologue. You see what I'm saying? She boy, woo!
That in there, you saw me
This
doing
is
something
one. I
else.
saw
man.
you doing something.
That's terrible. You're gonna have to bring that back. That was
So now you want to bring it back, run it back.
T
Money, what you think? Should we run this back, or is Tom saying keep going? Okay, you right, T. Tom saying keep going. All right, I got you. All right. So our first question, this is T. Money. Don't worry, T. Don't let her threaten you, T. You know what I'm saying? This time, day and age, you can't threaten people openly on camera. You know what I'm saying?
That's a promise, T. That's a promise.
We gonna run that back, T.
It's a promise.
That's a promise.
Okay, this is a question. This is fun questions, and so this probably can take you back to your KU days, because this is the KU. They do a lot of intelligence searching and get you ready. So this is the first question we're gonna ask you. How do you lift an elephant with one hand?
You ask someone else to do it?
So, hubby got to come help? Okay, I'm going to ask you again. That's the final answer. How do you lift an elephant with one hand?
I don't know how do you lift an elephant with one hand?
Well,
Okay.
you can't, because you'll never find an elephant with one hand.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Just crack yourself up.
Listen, y'all haven't been following, but Ben, Bob the Bum is eating. See, they don't understand that. I get a lot of these questions from my friend Bob the Bum. He's I don't want to tell you where yet, because then there might be sabotage. But I get these questions and I tell him, if you can stump our guest, I'll give you $5 for every question.
Yeah.
He been eating good. Hey, he been eating good.
It's for a good cause.
It's for a good cause. It's a good cause. I've been stumping guests every week.
Okay, number 2. How can you drop an egg onto a concrete floor and not crack it?
Oh. These are difficult questions.
These are not difficult. These are fun
Drop it.
icebreaker. We got to break the ice. You were real uptight. During our drops, you were. I'll be like,
I didn't see a drop.
She did. I didn't know. We didn't get no bloopers.
Oh, okay.
Covered in bubble wrap? I don't know.
Covered in bubble
That's
wrap.
good though.
Woo, that was a good one.
I like that.
A good one. Okay.
It's not
You
difficult because a concrete floor is very hard to crack, especially with an egg.
I should have been preparing these type of questions with my husband. He has this sense of humor.
Does he?
Okay, well, we're gonna let you use a lifeline now. You can use a lifeline now. You know how you can use a lifeline. Okay. So now, next one. What can fill an entire room without taking up any space?
Air.
That's a good one. I
Boy.
like that. And I'm gonna give you that answer. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give you that. You got that one. Even though we was looking for the light and air is the
that
same
too.
thing.
Yes,
It's the same
that's
thing.
so true. Yes.
It's the same thing.
Mhm.
Hey, I'll give you that. All right,
I
let's
love
go,
that. That was
KU.
good.
Rock, chop, Jenee. Let's go.
What has 10 letters and starts with gas?
Slow down.
What has 10 letters and starts with gas?
You do have lifelines.
Do I got 10 letters though?
No.
No, we don't.
Come on, people. I was thinking gastronomy, but I don't think that's even a word. Or
It is a
or
word, but
in,
that's
in
not
like
It says what has 10 letters.
Yeah.
But listen,
Oh, it
it
is.
says
Okay.
starts with gas. So you got to think a little bit outside the box. I'm going to pull a Jabrelle here. Yeah, I'm pulling the Jabrelle.
What is that?
I'm pulling the Jabrelle. You probably came here, right?
You want to be like me so bad.
Nah, I'm just saying, if she get to cheat, why can't I cheat sometimes?
He said you probably came here in it.
They have 10 letters?
Oh.
But you close.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah,
Did you nail it?
she did.
What she say? What she say?
Did she
What's your answer? You-
Yeah.
Okay, I like how she said.
I like my other lifeline
Okay.
over here. Like,
All right, automobile. All right, so we gonna count you 2 and 2. We're gonna count you 2 and 2.
KU's not too proud right now.
2 and 2. Oh, they are. You 2 and 2. You rocking like the football team.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Come on. It's on you.
I was trying to let you get another one out, but it's cool. Where can you find cities, towns, shops, streets, but no people? I'm reading it again for you. Where can you find cities, towns, shops, and streets, but no people?
Hold on. You can't say Texas.
Ah.
Oh, yes, a map.
Listen.
Woo! I'm
I
telling you, your
mean,
people is rocking.
she
Your
is-
lifelines
she
is
is a
rocking.
genius.
A map. There we
Yeah,
go.
I
That's a
love
good answer. You are 3 and 2. You rocking. You rocking.
I'm gonna skip one because I want to do this
Oh,
one.
now you want to skip? No, ain't no skipping none. No, ain't no skipping none.
What taste?
See, I always
am
want to
because-
take my stuff and skip it.
because it's a good one. I like this one better.
No, that don't mean you get to skip it. I put mine in there. You put your what? I don't. Oh.
No, I'm gonna do this one. What taste?
See, cut this out,
But
man.
never
She not-
smells.
Well, this is something
What
else, man.
taste never smells?
Yes. See, he said you were for failure. I'm telling you.
I don't understand how you keep just. Well, you
That's
said
the one I
no.
want to do.
No, that ain't how you. You don't just get to choose when they ain't here.
What?
What tastes but never smells?
Mm.
Oh, your lengua? Tongue?
Yes. Yes.
Boy,
She wants
you brought the right people with you. Woo! That's what I'm saying. You 4 and 2. I like that.
With the
Well,
smart
you.
people.
Well, I mean, go ahead. I mean, I don't get to ask my question, so you just
Are you
ask
want me to do the
mine.
next one too?
I mean, go ahead. I don't get to ask my question.
I like this one too.
I'm gonna just let you
Okay.
ask them all for now.
If the vice president dies, who acts as the president?
The president.
I know.
That's 5. Okay, we're gonna get one more in. We're gonna get one more in.
I mean, I see it.
Okay, so this one. The more you have it, the less you see. What is it?
Money.
Right.
The more you have it, the less you see. That's not money. Is not the right
The
answer.
more you have it, the less.
Boy, she is so cold. Wow.
Did she say it?
We can't let you use that lifeline. Now I'm just playing. She's cold. You try,
Love
man.
it.
She
You
is.
already
Woo.
nailed it. Oh, your sunglasses? Well, that's true. The more sunglass pigmentation on there
Yes. But
makes
the
it more
same
difficult to
concept.
see.
Oh no, I thought you said like you know how you kind of forget that they there.
Well, that's true, yeah. That's true.
That's nah, I don't know about that. The more you have it, the less you see. What is it? Go ahead, just holler it out. She's not.
In the dark.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay. Good job. Good job.
So sad. So sad.
Okay. There we go. Thank you for letting us
That was good.
play with you for a little bit and have some fun. You know, now what we're going to do is we're going to end our live session,
Okay.
and then we're going to come back
guys.
and we're going to get into clean air now and environmental justice. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
Bye, guys. I never thought to wave with them. I should start.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. The Evening Social Podcast. So, Atenas, let's talk a little bit about growing up. All right. So, where were you born?
Kansas City, Kansas.
Okay. So, you from Wanda?
Yep.
So, you was a dark girl in the house? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
In the
All
house.
right. In the house. Okay. So, what schools did you go to growing up?
T.A. Edison for elementary school.
Okay.
And then Northwest Middle School, which it's not called Northwest.
Call
but
B.
I-
Bruce now, but we
Yes,
know
yes.
Northwest.
And then
Me too.
Yes. And
Tigers.
then went to Sumner for high school.
Oh, okay. You was at Sumner Academy. Okay.
Sabres.
Sabres. Okay, like that.
Yes.
Great. Okay. I got little
What year
ties
did
with
you
say
come out?
with
Oh,
some-
nine.
Oh, nine. Okay. You know, it's
Been
several
a
of us in,
minute.
several of us in here have ties to Sumner, and then some of us don't. But you know, we won't say. You know,
Okay.
we won't say nothing. You know
Am
what
I
I'm saying?
supposed to feel bad about it? I don't.
I mean,
I don't.
most people they couldn't be then wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Anyway, like I said,
Well, you about to
Let's
make me
go.
forget this thing. It's for the kids.
okay, let's talk a little bit about growing up. All right. Talk about your relationship with your family, like your mom and dad. Let's talk about mom first.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about that.
Well, my parents were both immigrants. They came from Mexico, and they came up here to search for jobs because they had a lot of siblings back at home and family that were in poverty. And so, since they were closer to the older siblings, that's kind of what really drew them to coming to the U.S. to get that opportunity to work, to provide, send money back home. It really put a pause to, because my mom came when she was 18. So right off of high school, she was excited to go to college, but I mean, family needed it at the time. So she had to put her life on hold to come out here. And then my mom and dad met over here, had my brother and I. We grew up in Wyandotte County. My dad still lives in the same home that we grew up in. And my parents actually got a divorce like very early on when I was about 4. So all I've known in life is them apart. And it was good. It was healthier to have 2 adults be able to raise children with the common idea that we are going to instill the same values in them, but do it separately is actually healthier than doing it together. So I've always appreciated that. I know that I could imagine, I don't have kids, but it's challenging to know when to stay and when to go, when are you stronger together and when are you stronger apart. But yeah, they raised us. My first language was actually Spanish, and I learned English through TV. And I never went to I didn't have like a daycare or pre-K. I just went to kindergarten already knowing English because of television. So I think at that age you can learn language very well. I can't do that now. So the thought of trying to learn a different language at this age is different. But yeah, I've always loved, I'm one of those nerds. I've always loved school. I wanted to be, probably not a lot of people can relate, but the teacher's pet, because I loved that someone was seeing something in me that I could continue to aspire to do more, to work harder, to learn more. And I was fortunate enough to have really good role models in the teachers I had from every school I had, elementary, middle, and high school. I could name off the teachers that really stood out to me, that really saw me for me and really tried to bring about those strengths. And I'm also here with my bestie, who we went to like kindergarten together and grew up together. We went to high school together. So we just, she could also say, oh yeah, she was competitive. She wanted the teacher to be like, Atenas has the best vocabulary words or something so silly.
Okay.
Give us just one of the influential teachers then.
Yeah, well, I'll go back to high school. Mr. Gunner was one of my.
Every time. Oh my
Does
God.
everyone always say
Was
Mr.
you
Gunner?
somebody about him last week? Did you ask Grant about him?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's my guy. Okay, go ahead.
He was the best. I had him for history, and then I also signed up. I am not athletic whatsoever, but I agreed to being the soccer manager, which really is the water boy, But I was very bad at getting people water. I was more better at you should pick up those balls and let's go. And I got to get off class, but he was so helpful and so supportive all the time. He would let me get into debate with other students, and he actually got me off of taking my final because I did a debate that I ended up winning, and I didn't have to take my final. I got an A, which that's not why he's the best teacher. I think he's the best teacher because he really instilled in us how important education is and how history, if you don't know it, if you don't learn it, you're going to repeat it. And I've never been a history student, but the way he expressed it, the way he taught it, and the attention he gave to the students, I always have mad respect for that.
Okay. I liked it. That was a good one. Mr. Gunn, that's my guy.
Yeah.
Good person. Okay. So, moving from school, high school now, how did you choose where you would go next? Because did your parents go to college?
No.
Okay. So how did you get to that part?
It was from my parents. My mom, it was always like, it's not a question, you're going to college. And it was something that I grew up with, as in being a first generation Mexican American. Yes. And then it's like, you have to try harder than everyone else to not be treated differently. It kind of felt like at times, because my family had to learn English when they moved over here, and so they were working in the daytime, and then at night they'd go to Donnelly College to take some English classes. But it always felt like you just have to do a little bit more. You always have to be presentable so people don't assume negatively of you or look down on you. It was something that you just don't want to look down on. I don't want to give someone a reason to do that. But college seemed to be the answer for my mom, where she's always loved education, and she's like, with college, you can have the opportunity to live the rest of your life doing something you love versus having just a job. And with my dad, it was similar concept, but he was more like, do you want to go to college, work really hard for 4 to 5 years or however long it takes for you to get your degree, and then you live out your passion? Or do you just work hard every single day at your job and make good money? So he didn't make it seem like either option was wrong. It was just like, how do you want to be as an adult, and how do you want to live your life? So I was very, very lucky to have come across Kauffman Scholars. That's what got me through college. I didn't have any, my parents didn't have money to take me to college. And my idea was that I was going to go to a community college, save up, and then transfer over to a university. But because of Kauffman, I was able to go to KU right off the bat and have my dorm covered, have my books covered, have my classes covered. And I never took that for granted. I always knew this is a blessing that not everyone gets. And I worked really hard to just continue getting really good grades to stay up there. But I'm just lucky. It's the people around me that really helped give me the opportunities and the support to get to where I wanted to go.
What did you major in?
Nursing.
Oh, it was nursing.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that you say luck. I don't think it's luck. You know, one thing, I have a background in coaching. One thing we say is luck favors the prepared man. So it's not that it's just lucky, like you just happen to just, I made this play, or I did this. No, you prepared for it, and you spent countless hours before preparing yourself for this moment, and when this moment came, you was able to take advantage of it. So I hear you, but I don't want to discredit all the other things that you said that you did. You wanted to be the teacher's pet. You were working hard. You wanted to do good. You were trying to learn more. You were in classes. You were building relationships with teachers. You were doing the things that you needed to do to put yourself in positions where people could say, oh, hey, here's Kaufman Scholars. And then you got into Kaufman Scholars and you didn't get in and take it for granted. You got in there and you worked, because for your working and the effort you put in, you were able to get college paid for and have those things. So I understand what you mean, but I want our listeners to understand that it didn't come without work. And you just saying I was lucky is not that whole just with a whip of a wand, I just got here. No, you put the work in. You're right. Right.
Yes,
but
that's true.
You put the work in, and because you put the work in, things favored you and things kind of fell in line, and you were able to take advantage of them. But you had to continue to work
it's
to do that.
It's very interesting to me. One of the things that you said was a motivator for you was that you didn't want people to perceive you a certain type of way, right? So now that you've accomplished some of the things that you've set out to accomplish, and actually quite a bit more, I'm sure, do you feel like that was helpful, or that your degree has played a part in helping people to perceive you differently?
Right. I think initially, even just growing up and talking to others, it's like I had, and reflecting on it, I had people pleasing tendencies. And I think that happens a lot of times. I mean, it's more common. It can happen to anyone, but it's more common like with women and growing up and trying to please everyone, right? To make sure like, okay, everyone's expecting me to get straight A's, so I'm going to do it for them and I'm going to do this for them. But I think also what was ingrained in me is the value of investing in yourself and finding a path for yourself. So I always was told, you're going to have to go to college no matter what. Like, you cannot fail. And it felt like I really shouldn't fail, because my parents came from Mexico and sacrificed their whole life for me to not do something with mine. But I think the part that I stood out, or I was able to make my own, is nursing. I don't have other family members that went into nursing, and I've always wanted to help people, and I thought it would be very valuable to be in a position where I could support people, and that I didn't always see nurses that looked like me, to be honest. I didn't have to go to the doctor often. We didn't even have health insurance, really. But it's like, well, I could do that. I could be in that position and I could help other people. So I think it was initially like a driver to do my best. But then what really got me to where I am even at today, which is different than what people would perceive as nursing, was something that was driven within myself, that this is what I value. This is how I want to give back to the community and to my family and for myself too.
So coming out of college, how did you get to Children's Mercy Hospital?
So I'm gonna not use the word lucky. I worked really hard in nursing school to try to get straight A's, and I applied for an internship that they had, like a summer internship program that Children's Mercy had, and they only selected like a few student nurses. I had already completed about a year of my nursing school, and that's how I got my foot in the door. And so I figured, okay, once I get my foot in the door, it makes it easier for them to want to hire you, because you've already like applied and learned and trained with them. I was working like in the orthopedic unit where people break their bones, the kiddos break their bones, and was working as a care tech. So almost like a care assistant, supporting the nurses and the work that they do. And then from there, I was offered a position after the summer program was over to continue working there. I also had another part-time job at KU, because I always thought just in case it doesn't work out in pediatrics where I thought I could really give my all, I still had something to fall back on. So I have like a plan A, B, and C.
Nice.
Just in
Good.
case.
Good.
Come
So,
on, just in case.
yes,
love
you
it.
never know.
That's good.
Okay.
So I'm just going to regress just a little bit and ask a question. So what does it take for if one of our young viewers want to know what does it take to get into nursing? Like what is the criteria of nursing and what do you have to, what kind of school? I'm asking, does it take?
Yeah. And I want the viewers to know I didn't get into the KU nursing school.
Mhm.
Like I was denied because there was one semester I was taking a course. It was one of the science courses, and I got a D because, and I was not proud of that. It was actually a shocker. Like I hated getting anything below a B, but my grandpa had just died that year, and I didn't know that I could pull out of a course so that way I would avoid getting a low grade.
Mhm.
But when I talked to my counselor, I was like, I let them know the situation, and I was like, what if I just take the same course with the same teacher? I promise you I'll get an A. And they're like, that doesn't matter because it's going to average out to a C. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't know that I should have just gone out of it. So to get into nursing school, they're really looking at your grades. They're looking at, you have to get like a 3.4 and up to be competitive, would be more like a 3.6. And KU, I was not considered competitive because of that low grade that I got. It really shot my GPA, and having A's and B's, maybe if I had all A's and one D, they would have considered it. So I applied to other nursing schools to seek out what other options I have. I also considered chiropractic because I was like, well, in case nursing doesn't work, I got plans A, B, and C. I was like, maybe I could be a chiropractor because that seems like I'm helping people, and it's a similar concept. That's what I would argue. I would also say try to take early if you can. Like in Sumner, I was able to get some credits for college. Get those out of the way because they're so expensive when you actually go to college. When you go to KU or when you go to those big universities, they could probably speak to it better than me. I was privileged enough to have that covered and not have to worry about it, but I know people are still paying off their debt just because they were trying to get an education. So get in early, get those classes out of the way, get the prereqs out of the way. Try to see if you can volunteer. I used to work at the Red Cross as a volunteer, and then they hired me for a position there. So I was able to teach like CPR classes. So anything that kind of gets you some of those techniques and practices that nurses do on a daily basis, that looks really good on your resume, and that also gets you a little more prepared for those type of situations.
I can tell that you're so passionate about it. How long did you actually practice being a nurse after you graduated?
Yeah, so I practiced. So it's funny because people view practicing nursing very differently. So inpatient, I started on the pediatric intensive care unit in 2014, and then very quickly I realized, whoa, I cannot do this. I thought I wanted to work with kids that were literally on a lifeline, and I have my heart out for it, but it was very draining, very hard on me to process and handle all of that. So then I left that after like about a year, and I felt like a failure because I thought, this is what you went to school for. You got really good grades. You went and got, like an internship at Children's Mercy, and then now you're failing because you're not achieving, you're not getting it, you're not able to stick with it. So I could be very hard on myself too. But I realized that I care about their lives too much for me to put my own, I need to stick it out because that's what I need to do. It's more like, no, there's a lot of great nurses out there. and everyone's got a place. And this one just isn't mine. And I thought it was, but it's not. And that's okay. It took me a while to get to that point. First, it took a lot of tears before I got to that point.
I'm glad you said that.
Yes,
because that is one of the biggest things that I think our community and our young need to understand that, hey, it's okay to change your mind.
Exactly.
Sometimes you get into some things that you think you want to do, but once you get into it, you're like, hey, you know, okay, this is not what I really thought it was, or I'm not really, this is not really where I want to be.
Right.
And it's okay to change, and you're not a failure because of that. That doesn't mean you fail. That means you are mature enough to realize where you lie and where your true passion and where your true skills are.
It's
so
better for everybody involved to just do what's best, do what you already know needs to be done. It's just better for everybody.
Right. Like I don't want to give off that I was lucky and everything came easy to me. Obviously it didn't, and I think it's, if we can all speak more true to like, hey, we all literally stumble and fall and it feels terrible, but there is another side to it. You're gonna get back up and you're gonna find something that really speaks to your heart, to you. And after that I went to work in the clinic, ear, nose, and throat clinic. That was a lot of fun because I got to work with a lot of doctors very closely. So I had a different point of view when I worked in the PICU. It was at night. The doctors didn't want to talk to you. You shouldn't be calling them. But in the ear, nose, and throat clinic, they were like, you're the nurse. You tell me what to do. And I was like, I love this. The dynamic was very beautiful, that they depended on each other. And then from there, I wanted to go back for my master's in nursing leadership, just because I felt like that it was what I needed to do, to move, to have more authority and have more opportunities in making decisions for how clinics should run, for how patient care should be. Whether that's right or wrong, if that's how you do it, that's what I thought, that's what I needed to do. And I love school, so it seemed like a good time. But I came across a job opportunity to work for the environmental health department of Clean Air Now. And then I went online. I never heard of the concept really, even in nursing school, of what is environmental health. And I took a little like online quiz and training course that was free, luckily. And it felt like a light bulb went off in my head that this is what I want to do. This is going to put me working with the community. It brings me back to the concept that nursing started in the community. People didn't have to come to a hospital before. Nurses would go out to homes to provide that care. Doctors used to do that. And so I absolutely loved it. We would go out and do home assessments for kiddos with asthma, with lead exposure, immunocompromised, like kiddos with a diagnosis of cancer. And I felt like I'm giving the family a little bit of power back, because they felt at times very hopeless. Like, what do you do with this diagnosis? It's like, you can do a little bit of something to help make your home healthier, and feel like you're in a space that's safer. And I absolutely enjoyed it. I think that's the definition of still doing nursing practice. I was able to do some blood draws, so that was fun. But yeah, but I that was my
I love how she thought outside of the box for like
I love it because if people still ask me now, do you still coach? And I tell them yes. I'm just not coaching sports. I'm coaching life now. I'm coaching other things. So I still feel like this is coaching, especially when we work with our interns or students and we do things. I feel it's coaching, but it's not coaching basketball or football, but it's coaching different. So I get it, and I think that's great. Now, I gotta ask, because you went into it. You took, I don't know if somebody gave you my notes or not. You went right into getting the Clean Air Now. So that's great. So explain environmental justice to someone who just explain.
It probably sound hardcore.
I mean, it sounds. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard it, I thought it was something else. Like I was way off base of what it was. So I'm saying, if you just explain to a person who has no knowledge, you think has no knowledge, just explain it, what would you tell that person?
I would say it means that everyone should have the right to breathe clean air and be able to drink clean water and have soil that's clean. And that is not what's happening in the United States and around the world.
Yeah.
Because some people are exposed to toxins and pollution every single day, but why do they get exposed to that more than other communities and neighborhoods? And I think it should be a right. We should all have the right to be able to breathe clean air.
Yes.
My mind is blown, and I'm in such amazement that this is a career path that you've chosen, and take your time out to even to fight for other people. I mean, because I wouldn't even think about the soil that I'm using, or I mean, you know, the water that you're drinking, not every day, not to that magnitude. So for this to be your profession, you know, I mean, I just commend you. I love it.
I'm gonna tell them myself. I didn't know really what it was. I thought it was something else until they came and explained it to the kids. Then I was like, oh, that's what it is. I thought it was something totally
was
different.
one of the dopest.
You know what I mean? And the kids still, now to this day, I still have kids. They say, "Oh, you polluting the air." they still now say that. Miss White, you can't do that. We need to call the people because the air is polluted.
Plug in the box.
Man. So it means a lot. And I'm saying this to say, in certain communities, like, you're not taught those things. Like, you don't even understand it. Like, you never think about it. Never look at it and don't know this is happening. Now, this is being made aware of it. You know what I mean? And that opened my eyes to understand the things, but it opened the eyes of a whole nother generation of people of what it is. So I got to ask you a few more questions, because if I don't ask you this, I'll be wrong. So I got to get a few things out. One is, I have to ask, and I want you to put out there, can you explain what clean air? Well, let me say it a different way, because let me ask it this way. Can you explain like what the mission of clean air is? Clean air now is. I was going to say something else, but can you explain what the mission of clean air now is? Because I think we need to understand not only what environmental justice is, understand the importance of clean air, but we need to understand the importance of the people who are fighting for us and what their mission is and what their mindset is. So can you explain to us what the mission of clean air now is?
Yeah.
All right.
So our mission is to fight for environmental justice and climate justice and dismantle the systemic racism that's put in place that perpetuates those inequities. And why we do this is because it's about the health of the community, the health of the people. You're telling me that it's okay for one community to live 20 years shorter life expectancy compared to another? The answer is that's not okay. And that should be on a headline. It should be like, why are people living such shorter lives? We want to blame on high blood pressure, on what we eat, and we put so much attention on exercise and eating, but no one's talking about the thing we're breathing in every single day. So that's what we're fighting for. And it's also about building community power, because these are the same communities that have been taken their power away by leaders not allowing that opportunity for community to have voice, for community to have decision-making power. And so we're equipped to help work with the community in identifying what is the problem, what are your goals, and how can we make change happen. And I'm not talking about, hey, are you recycling? Are you composting? I'm not talking about that personal carbon footprint. That if you're privileged enough to think about that, awesome. I hope you're doing that. I'm talking about the huge system in place where there's greenhouse gases being emitted at the front door of a community.
Okay.
That's kind of extended.
Come on, goodness, no, I love it.
So
we need more time to unpack it.
Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna phrase this right, but I'm gonna ask this. So you do a lot of work in the community. So why is how do I say it? Why is research about air quality important for, let's say, so why is the research about air quality important, like for a community to be involved? Let me say it that way. Okay, why is that?
Because for one, the research isn't out there unless community literally has to fight and pull teeth to make sure, like, hey, are you looking at what is going on over here? In Kansas City, Kansas, there's only one air monitor, and that's on 10th in Nebraska. It measures PM 2.5, and we don't have to get into all of the details.
How far does that go?
So that is not in the community that's being impacted. So that's over there. Where we started, which was literally driven and started by community members being concerned about what is this soot buildup? What are we breathing? Hey, we're actually next to the rail yard system over here. And Kansas City is a large inland port. I mean, everything from the east to the west coast has to come through here, basically. And we're noticing that communities have been segregated. I mean, Kansas City has a long history of redlining. And what does that mean? Disinvestment in homes, and also putting them right next to these industries, this rail yard, these highways. So that the reason why it's so important is because data moves change. But what's challenging with political people and those in power is that lived experience isn't as valuable as data. And so we work to have both things up in front and center. To me, a lived experience will tell a lot more than some data point, because people aren't data points.
Right.
These are human beings that are breathing in these toxins every single day. But we need the data to help continue to support, like, this is what the family's been saying. Like, we're breathing in this stuff, but here's the data points to help prove some more of that information. And the people who are powerful are the ones that can hold on to that data. But if community can take ownership of that data, then they can be part of that. No, I hold the power, and I hold the knowledge, and I also hold the answers to be able to make the changes that we need to do.
What are some of the changes?
Well, for one, I would think it's stop blaming the community that, well, didn't industry come here first and then community came here after? It's the community that had to build up this industry.
What?
That's literally what I've been told.
Wow. Okay.
And it's like, okay, so that makes it all right for them to be breathing this, and then you're paying them these low wages to continue working in this space for all these toxins. So I don't
So
like
much
going into it.
so much that goes into
Yes.
how that came about, right?
It's about policy change, honestly. It's about changing the narrative that it's not about our personal, putting the blame on people's footprint and what they're doing, like carbon footprint. It's about, if we're really going to talk about climate change and how we're going to improve the planet and improve our health, and we really care about humans on this planet, then stop talking about net zero. Stop talking about false solutions. Start talking about what the community actually needs. We need to go to zero emissions, which is, let's go electric, let's put solar, let's put like what we need to do to thrive as a community, not what's going to continue making the rich richer and then continue to bombard the community.
Do you feel like
So,
it? Oh, go ahead.
how would someone in the community get involved with that research and getting that data? Like, how does that do that?
Yeah, well, I can speak through Clean Air Now.
Okay, talk. That's what this is for.
So we do hold we have several layers to the work that we do. Initially, it's about bringing that awareness, right? So having these opportunities to talk about the problem that we are walking through every single day, but we don't notice, right? And then bringing in the education. And it even talks about like, well, do we know who our council people are? Do we know who our mayor is? Do we know when they're hosting those meetings and when we can go forward and share our voices and our opinions? And then it also, we do have air monitors put up in place. So like I mentioned, EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, has one air monitor on 10th in Nebraska. We have over 20 in Argentine and Armourdale neighborhood, as well as some other parts of the Kansas City metro. So you can actually be able to access real-time data on your phone with the app and be able to see, okay, what am I breathing today? Which that's what spoke to me when we were talking to a community member who has a daycare at her home, and she lives in Armourdale. She says, I literally check that every day to make sure, can the kids go out and play today, or is it better if I keep them inside? And it doesn't change the fact that there's pollution, but it gives her a little bit of power that I can make the decision on how I take care of my kids for today.
So, I mean, pollution is at this moment, something that you can't really escape, right?
Right.
What are some preventative or safety measures that you can take when you live in some of those areas in the meantime?
Right. I would say definitely getting involved with who is elected. Voting has never become even more important than it is today. We live in 2 red states, honestly, that may not value some of this information, but continue to vote, continue to put your voice out there. And there are some measures that you can do inside your home, like there's weatherization and there's some programs. But I just don't want to lose my message that we can do all we can to like cocoon ourselves, but that's not the answer. The answer is that we need to hold these polluters accountable because they've been let off pretty easily to continue to release this pollution onto communities. It should be more equitable. An easy thing, I think, like an easy low-hanging fruit. I've seen it in Johnson County where they have no truck routes. Like it says a sign, right, where it says no trucks can pass through here. Yeah. They don't have that in Armourdale. They actually treat one of their streets that kids cross to go to school as a highway. And I'm like, for one, that's a safety concern, right? Yeah. But it's also a health concern. Yeah. So it's like if we can work together to work with government, to identify those opportunities of what are some of those policy changes that we can make that will actually go a long way in the community.
Okay. Now, I got to ask this question. I was debating if I was going to ask this, but if I don't ask this, I would feel like I'm not doing my job in media. And we a media outlet now, we got to do this. So I got to ask, so what was it like suing the U.S. Postal Service?
Oh.
I got to ask that. I got to ask that. Tell me about that.
I think it's fun. To be honest, I don't know if I should have said that first, but I think it's kind of silly that they're putting in billions of dollars to get a whole new fleet of vehicles to spread the mail that we need every single day, right? Mm-hmm. And there's all this funding now, even within the government, that they're going to address climate change. And they're like, well, we're going to put this report together that indicates it's better financially for us to go with gas guzzling cars instead of electric. To me, that seemed so silly. I'm using my words lately.
When I read it, I'm thinking
it was like, what are you thinking, and why are you lying?
You really saying this?
Yes,
you really put this out
they
there.
Put the gas prices at like
$2,
and I'm like,
Amazon just said they're gonna spend all this money on these, and you're gonna say this. Mm-hmm. I couldn't get it.
They could set the example, and that's what was infuriating. They could set the example in that motion that we can go electric, because literally every male person They go through the same routes. They go through the same neighborhoods. You can easily set up EV stations for charging. You can easily set up a route for people to be going on an everyday basis. And you end up saving money in the end. And you make it healthier for that community because that's a vehicle that's coming by every time, just like FedEx, just like Amazon. I mean, we're always ordering online.
But I also thought, well, this was my first thought. When they said this, I'm sitting here like, okay, I don't know a lot about this.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking as an employee, you don't care about me.
Well,
That's my first thought. Was like, whoa.
Right.
As an employee, I've been working here all day. You don't care about me, that you're going to continue to do this. Because I got to jump in and out this car doing all this all day. And in this type of truck and vehicle, the fumes are still coming back in here. So I have to be subjected to this. And so you don't even care about me? Like, that was my first thought.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it like that,
But it's true.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The funding's there. We're still suing, and we're and it did cause them to be like, oh, well, I guess we can look back at some of the things we wrote down in that report, and maybe we can go electric. So we're going to continue pushing till we see that complete
I
change.
better come on, because my mail lady is still out here reckless. Fancy free.
You just saw because she don't put your mail all the way in your box. That's why you tripping. She lay your mail sometimes on your
Me
steps.
and my mail lady do have a relationship. Listen now, if you watching, we need to simmer down.
So let me ask you, if you were to tell, this is gonna be a little different than normal. If you were to, no, let me phrase it different.
Listen.
Give our audience, in just, let's say about 30 seconds, what they need to know about being involved in our communities to get rid of the air pollution and better the air that we're breathing. Because the air that we breathe and those things, and I'm being honest, I didn't, until you came and talked to the kids, I did not realize a lot of the other things. And it has to do with our health. It has to do with sickness, it has to do with longevity of life, it has to do with a whole lot, it has to do with our skin, it has to do with, it has so many things to do with that I never understood. So can you give us, I'm gonna say 30 seconds, but somewhere in there about what we need to know about getting involved in that? Because everybody is not going to be at the same level of involvement, but everybody can be involved.
Right.
So how do they get involved in their communities, like the contact information, whatever it is, to get in touch with Clean Air Now, whatever it is they need to know, can you give them that and how they can be involved at whatever level it is?
Yeah. I would start by letting the community know that they are the experts. I don't think they hear that enough. I think oftentimes government, academia, so many people come in and tell you this is what's going on in your neighborhood and this is what you need to care about. But instead, I want the community to feel empowered that you are knowledgeable and you grew up here and you have your children here and your grandchildren here, that this isn't about climate change. This is about the health of your children and your grandchildren and yourself. This is about doctors, even nurses, not knowing anything about environmental health, but you get to be there and show them this is what you need to care about, because don't just ask me about what I'm eating and how much I'm walking. You need to ask me, what am I breathing? What am I drinking? Like, is my faucet water okay or not? Because we all deserve to have access to clean water and clean air and clean land. That makes such a difference in whether some communities are able to thrive, are able to have opportunities, and others are not. It's another way of oppression that is invisible to us oftentimes because we get used to it, because we don't see it, because we need to work. But as a worker, you have rights. As a worker, they should try to keep you healthy, to work longer, to live longer. And so I would say anyone can get involved in any sort of way. We have people that are amazing at networking, at social media. So you could just help share what Clean Air Now is doing. That's already doing a lot of work. You're bringing in more people's awareness to what I feel like I've been asleep to for a while in my life. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't unsee how one community is exposed to all this and one isn't. And then there's other opportunities if you want to get involved with volunteering, if you want to have an air monitor installed, if you want to take our workshops to continue to learn, if you want to be that person that like, I'm a great speaker, I can go up to policy people and I can tell them this is what needs to change and this is what needs to happen. So there's opportunity for all of that. And you can follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Please reach out to us. I'm happy to also provide my contact information, the co-executives' contact information. We're working on our webpage. It's kind of looking a little lame right now, but we are going to make it look a lot better. So that way you can navigate the stories of the community members. That way you can navigate and see how we're being involved in what we're doing. But I would be at times when I've spoken up and I really, this has made me speak up a lot. It's infuriating that this is another thing I have to worry about. And it shouldn't be, at least I feel like it shouldn't be, especially in the United States, but it is something that people have to fight for and have been fighting for many, many years. It didn't start with me. It didn't start with Beto. It started with people who aren't just activists, but people who cared about their community, who are taking action many years ago and have been fighting for this social justice issue. And we owe it to them to continue to fight and continue to hold our ground. That was a lot longer than 30 seconds.
So, for whatever reason, T-Money didn't cut
He
you off.
over here taking pictures.
He normally cuts
Look
people
at
off,
you.
but he got it. Now, I do want to say this. I want to say thank you to you and Payton, Clean Air Now. I appreciate you guys opening my eyes and the eyes of a lot of our connecting the dots students and families in the Grant Elementary area for the clean air, the pollution, the environmental justice part. But I also want to thank you all. You've invited me to several different things, and just this past Thursday?
Yeah.
This past Thursday. And I don't even know. I know it was environmental justice movement and something transition. But every time I come, that's what I'm thinking. Every time I come, I learn something different that I didn't realize. Every time it's like something I took for granted. Like I didn't even think about that. I didn't even know that was something that, man, you're right. We are something like that is something. Every time, and I'm just like, man, there is a lot of injustice going on in certain communities that we are not even aware of until someone says it. And then you think about it and you're like, man, you're right.
And it's been like that for a long
And
time.
it's been like that for a long time.
Right.
I just got to thinking about it, and I'm going to stop talking here in just a second. But I got to thinking about, like, man, that this been going on all my life, my parents' life. And nobody never, I just said something to my dad. I literally said to my dad, I said, Dad, what do you think about the air we breathe? And he said, huh? I said, the air we breathe. Like, what do you think about it? With all the transmissions, all the clean, like, how clean is the air that we breathe? And he said, son, I never thought about that. My dad's 6 years old.
Right.
He never thought about that. So that just blew my mind. Like, man, there are really injustice going on that's flying under the radar because we don't have the knowledge and we're not used to. Like they did there. I think there's a reason why they don't have their monitors up. There's a reason why. they won't get
It's a
away
reason.
with it.
It's
You know
a
what I
reason
mean?
that they even approved to have residences in some areas. To their point,
Right.
while they're
Right.
saying that industrial was here before you came and moved here. Well, they zone everything.
Right.
How is this even a residential community in the first place? You want to blame me for it?
Right.
And then make it affordable, right? Or low
They
income. and,
put that there
it's cute.
to benefit
It's all cute.
the other, and that's what I really like. Is that they put the residential to benefit the commercial.
Listen,
I mean, they wouldn't have put it there.
and
if they-
pharma and everything else. I'm assuming.
So
Don't get me started.
thank you. We appreciate you. I really do appreciate you opening my eyes up to it, and please continue to invite me to things I continue to learn. I'm looking forward to. I got a chance to talk to Beta about some things for our youth to be able to take involvement in.
Yes.
And do some things into where we'll be involved, because I'm always
Science,
looking
I
at
love
it as an opportunity for me to learn more too. So I really appreciate that. Look, and I'm hoping
Grasshopper.
that I'm going to get him to be, and you all to be a part of our STEAM Day that we have with the mayor's office. We're putting together in April, and to come be a part of that and put together one of our solutions, our problems that we look for solutions and put that. So I'm hoping that'll be a part.
Did he say yes? Because I'm already saying that sounds amazing.
Yeah. So we got to go because T Money now he's rocking. When you see him, starting to rocking with the camera, that means, man, you know,
he's the boss. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. He went too far, but he didn't want to tell Jabrelle that. But you know, she went too a little too long. She's a little long-winded at times. So he.
Where did I learn that from?
You know, T just
it's okay.
Don't
you
let
know,
Mo lead him.
She keep threatening him on camera and stuff. So you know, he just trying to be quiet. But really, he want to say, Jabrelle, cut. It's time to go. So I'm gonna say, I wrap it up. I'm gonna say it for him. Wrap it up. Okay. Now, our last question for today.
And then he just said he was rapping it, T.
I am rapping it, so when I rap it,
oh my God, I thought you was about to tuck us in. Good night.
So when we wrap it up, do we ask the last question or not, T? Okay, thank you, T.
What else you
No, that was
say,
for something
T?
different.
Go ahead, man.
Well, first of all, let me
No,
T. I just want this to be on record. You see how many times she keeps, you know, hitting me on my. She keeps. Now she want love to, but she been over here banging on my left shoulder and. Well, you something else. Woo! Look at how she keep on. Okay, anyway. Okay. 20 seconds. You have the attention of the whole world for 20 seconds. What do you use that 20 seconds and what do you say? Don't tell us. T gonna give you a countdown, gonna tell you what camera to look at, and he gonna count down this 20 seconds. If you pass this 20 seconds, he's gonna give you the
Got it.
So he's gonna give you the countdown and tell us what you say with that 20 seconds. It's 20 seconds. What my boy say, you got the whole attention of the whole world, Craig. You know what I'm saying? You got the whole attention.
Okay.
The whole world. What do you use that 20 seconds for? Go, Tim.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I would say environmental justice and environmental racism is a real thing that people struggle with every single day. We all deserve